How is the success of a business measured? We're going to answer that question in this video. Okay, let's rock. We're talking about business success and how you measure it. I mean, wow. For me, the first thought I get when I hear that is it's going to depend on each person, because each individual person is going to have their own level of success. And remember, in a previous video, and if you haven't watched it, watch it, about how to create a vision board. Everybody has different visions about where they want to go in life. And so depending on the circumstances of the individual, you might be able to be, in your mind, very successful making 1/10 of the amount of money or 1/10 of the amount of impact or something like that as somebody else in the same industry, just because that makes you happy. Not everybody wants to have 10 mansions and the biggest boats in the world and tons of airplanes and all the money in the world. Not everybody wants that. So the short answer is you measure success from within. You measure it based off of what your goals are and your ability when you hit those goals and you reach those goals. That's how you measure success. So what I like to say is aim for the stars. Aim for the stars, so if you miss, you still hit some stars. So aim high. Aim high. There's no reason. Don't underestimate what you're capable of. You can do so much more than you can ever imagine. You can do just about anything you set your mind to. Don't let anybody tell you differently. So set your goals high so that when we measure, we're measuring a really, really big goal, right? So the number one way to measure in business, remember, the number one goal in business is to make money. And if you're not trying to make money, I'll tell you this isn't the first time I'm saying this, but you more than likely have a hobby, like a hobby type of business, than like a real business, because a real business is trying to make money. If it's not making money, either you see something in the future because maybe it's a commodities-based business, and which are very cyclical, so they have highs and lows, and oh, you're just in a rut right now. That's why you're losing money. But in the future, you're going to make a lot of money, so you stick with it for a few years or whatever to get there. So sometimes that's worth it. But the number one goal in business is to make money. So if you're not making as much money as you expected to make or you had hoped to make, then your measure of success is going to be subpar, right? It's going to be a lot lower than what you want, where you wanted to be at. So if you want to just strictly talk money, dollars, euros, yen, whatever country you're in, whatever you're looking at is just money, your success is going to be measured based off of how much money you're making. And then if you're going to compare yourself to other people in the industry, you might say, wow, I'm only making this much a year, but that person or that company is making 5 times more than I am, or 10 times more. Well, if that comes up, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be hard to ever be happy in life, because there's almost always somebody that's going to make more money. I don't know anybody that, unless they're the richest person in the world, that says, well, I don't want to make more money or whatever. So you got to have some level of fulfillment when you hit certain goals, and be truly happy when you hit those goals, because that's the only way you can measure your success. And you can set a new goal when you get there, that's fine, but don't just sit there and say, hey, I hit my goal and that guy's making 10 times more, so, I'm not successful. Not true. Are you able to pay your bills and then save and have extra? Is your family healthy? Healthy? Are they happy? Is everything going well at the home front, right? There's so many factors to play into, successfully measuring a business, because a business usually impacts your family life. So if you can find a way to start a business and be able to run it successfully and make money and make plenty of time for your friends and family, that to me is success, especially if you're making a good living. And depending on what country you're in, that might range. So I don't want to say a specific dollar figure per year. In some cases, you could live in a country where making $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year is a lot of money. Or you're in the United States, and unless you're making $100,000 a year or more, you don't feel like you're doing well. You don't feel like you're a success, right? And that's because the standard of living is higher. It costs more to buy things, and so it costs more money. You have to make more money. But bottom line is, success is measured from within, right? So set goals of where you want to be, and don't be so concerned about everybody else and how much they're making. It's okay that they're making more. That's fine. Are you happy doing what you're doing? Okay. Another thing too that you can really measure the success of a business on is impact. How much of an impact you're making on your local community, on the country, in your state, in the world. Maybe you're a worldwide based business, how much impact you're having, right? Good or bad, depends. Think of all the major businesses that are out there, like the giants, the Amazons, the Teslas, the Microsofts, like these giant corporations. Look at the level of impact each of those companies is making. And even though Tesla for many years wasn't making any money, same with Microsoft, same with Amazon. They weren't making anything to brag about for years, right? They were just getting going. They became what they became after many, many, many years of making good decisions, working hard, finding the right people, setting up systems and processes, so many things that they did to set those businesses up to become what they ultimately became. But they didn't do that overnight. Tesla didn't just become Tesla overnight. It took time. And I remember like when eBay was setting up, in its, in a sense, primitive stages, they were at conventions buying booth space to give out like free t-shirts. I know they go to events and they host events, but they were literally, I remember being at a show in the late 90s in I think it was Orlando, Florida. And they were there and they were just, oh, eBay, you can sell stuff on our website. We're an auction website and here's a free t-shirt. So they were promoting it, right? Now, if they look back, they probably laugh, but that's what it took, right? But ultimately, look at the impact that their company is making. They allow people, especially during COVID-19, when people are stuck at home, you can list the items in your house on eBay, package them up, get paid for them, package them up, ship them. And if you're good and you say you're into collectibles like I am, you can have your niche and you can be buying and selling from your house. There's a lot of people doing that. And so there's so many different ways. And success, back to it being on you. You're the one that's in control of measuring your own success. And when you hit your goal, set another one. Don't just always be complacent, because if you're not growing, eventually you're just going to get bored and things aren't going to be, the greatest. So some people, and I want you to understand this when we were talking about impact, some people actually will set up nonprofits. And just to be clear, a nonprofit organization like a 501c3 is not necessarily what most people think. They think, oh, it's a nonprofit, so they don't make any money. No, there's plenty of nonprofits that make millions of dollars of profit. But the difference that separates a for-profit business and a not-for-profit, non-for-profit business is really for-profit businesses have one goal in mind generally, money, make as much as we can. Everybody get paid as much as you can get paid. A non-for-profit has like some charitable aspect to it. Some businesses have philanthropy as their main goal. And they say, hey, I'm gonna help underprivileged entrepreneurs, which is ultimately gonna be my goal, right? To help that out. They're gonna have some people that say, I wanna feed the homeless. So a lot of non-for-profits, they're trying to give back. And so that's their main goal. And so when that's your main goal, you can apply to be a non-for-profit and then go through the steps it takes, and you get classified differently, for tax reasons and things like that. But a lot of those companies really start because somebody's got a lot of heart and soul, and they want to make an impact and they want to change the world. So they're going to measure their business. Say it's one that's hunger-based, right? Trying to feed America or something like that. Tony Robbins is big on that. So that company might measure their impact based off of how many meals they serve to the homeless or to the needy and things like that. So it really depends on the type of business you have. And there's plenty of for-profits that also donate and give a lot to charity and things like that. But the bottom line is when that happens, they feel so fulfilled. Those businesses feel like they're at the top of their game. And yeah, they're making some money, but they're not as focused on the money aspect and being the richest company in the world. It's just, hey, in our local city, we want to feed 100 people a day or 1,000 people a day, whatever the number is. And if they can get close to that number, that impact is just gigantic. So we've talked about how you can basically get fulfillment, or you can measure a business based off of fulfillment, off of impact, off of how much money you're making. And I guess there's one based off of legacy. I'm sure there's people that set up businesses because, maybe they're already retired and they're in their later years and they want to set up something really cool to leave for their kids, their family, and for the community and for the world. So they set up a business in their name kind of for their legacy. And so the first thing that comes to mind is it Paul Newman that does the salad dressing? You see like Newman's dressing, like when you go to the grocery store. That business was awesome. It's got a picture of Paul Newman and bless that guy. But that's his legacy. I mean, look how he ended, the end of his life. And so some people set up businesses for that, and the success is measured actually after they pass away. You see how great, of an impact they made in their life, and then they pass away, and then, they're obviously making that huge amount of impact. So in the end, success is really going to come down to you and what your goals were when you set up your business. So please rewatch the video. There's a lot of great information in this video. If you liked it, please comment, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to keep delivering videos and information. If there's something you'd like me to discuss, a topic you'd like me to talk about in business, please comment below. I'll do my best to get that done. And remember, in business, keep pushing hard, and be the hustler.